welcome to the Norm Spinoff Hyperbolic Review. This is a YouTube exclusive segment of our normal podcast, the Hyperbolic Podcast, where we talk anime, video games, and movies. I am your host, X, also known as Young Morgan Freeman. And with me, as always, is my co-host, Kid Lewis.
What's up? What's up, guys? It's your boy, Kid Lewis, back at it again with another review. And this time, we're doing a little bit different, a little bit special.
Season 2 sauce.
Season 2 sauce. Well, I mean, season 2 sauce dripping into the review.
Yes.
You know, when the pot...
in the pot
drips into the other pot.
We got a special guest in this review.
Introduce yourself, man.
Hi.
Oscar?
My name is Oscar, aka Big O. I'm here to do the review with these guys and hopefully get some of the sauce that they're talking about.
You watched the movie. Now we're going to be talking about Godzilla -1.
Yes.
Mr. Oscaroolong over here.
So just a quick, so in this review, unfortunately, your boy Lewis, myself, moi, did not get a chance to go and watch the movie.
Kid Lewis could not go, bro.
I did not get the chance to go. So for this one, I'll just go over how we normally do the scoring. So we got our grading system, and I'm going to break it down, especially for my boy Big O. So we got 3 tiers. First tier is human. Human means is the worst of the worst, the low of the low, not even worth our time, not even worth your money. Don't even watch it. Don't waste your time. We're here to let you know, don't do it. Just don't do it. And then second tier up is grade ape. So grade A basically means it's a decent movie. Nothing too crazy. Watch it on your downtime or if you have time available. You know what I mean? And then the next tier up, which is the best tier, is Saiyan. So Saiyan is like the best of the best. Definitely watch. Definitely worth it. Worth your money. Worth every second that it took away from your life.
Yeah. Trade your life.
Trade your life
movie.
for this movie. So definitely watch. So did that make sense to you?
It does make sense to me, yeah.
Perfect.
All right,
So you both will be rating it, and I'll be commentary on the side and asking you questions since I didn't see it, so I have a couple of questions about this movie.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
then we'll wrap it up from there. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like the plan.
Sounds good.
All right, Xavier, go ahead, man. Hit it with some facts before we jump in.
So at the top of the review, we're just going to go into, we're having spoiler free. Then we're going to go into our ranking, and then we're going to back up our ranking within the spoiler section. So just a little bit of information about the movie. So this is Godzilla -1. It's the latest iteration of the Godzilla movies by Toho. So Toho company is the company that originally produced and made Godzilla. This one's directed by Takashi Yamazaki. He's the director of Lupin the Third, the First. We had talked about him in a different episode. He did a trilogy of Always Sunset on 3rd Street films, and this other animated movie, Stand By Me. Dora.
He produced Dora?
No, not Dora.
Dora the Explorer? Holy shit.
Stand By
The
Me.
map?
Doraemon.
Oh,
Doraemon?
Doraemon. There it is. So,
You're welcome.
have you seen Doraemon? Stand
No.
By Me? It looks kind of like Pixar, but it's it's Japanese.
Okay.
It looked pretty cool, but something that I didn't know, because I thought they hadn't done a Godzilla movie in ages, but they actually released Shin Godzilla in 2016, which was also released by Toho. But after the movie came out, there was something that released that they weren't allowed to make another Godzilla movie the same year that Legendary Pictures is making their Godzilla movies, which is the ones like the 2014, the one with Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like the American Godzilla?
Yeah. So
Okay, so
Legendary Films has like a contract with Toho to borrow Godzilla, but Toho can still make a Godzilla movie, but they just can't release in the same year as a different Godzilla movie. So they announced in 2020 that they were going to do one like this year, the one that came out.
okay.
So
Well, that makes sense because you don't want to have...
2 battling Godzillas, or people confused, like, is this the same Godzilla? Is this in the same world? Or
And it's not in the same world, right?
it's not.
Okay.
It's not.
No.
Because they're dropping the next one for the American franchise next year, right?
They are, yeah.
Yeah. So they were trying to like just squeeze in and release at the tail end of this year. But so we'll first go into non-spoilers about the trailer. Oscar, Big O, what did you think of the trailer?
Honestly, I didn't really see the trailer.
Oh, no. So you just went.
I just kind of went blind in, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
But from what I've heard before, I heard it was good. I heard people were talking about the trailer, and I saw things about it on Twitter or X.
Right.
And I was just kind of like, okay, it's another Godzilla movie. It's whatever. And then a friend of mine wanted to go watch it. So we went and watched it. So, yeah.
What about you, Lewis? Because you at least saw the trailer.
I saw the trailer. I think we both saw the trailer for it.
Yeah.
The trailer looked decent, very
How about the
cinematic.
look of Godzilla?
It's like very dark, right? I feel like it had like
It
a
was very
dark
dark.
film, like a
Grain to it?
like a grain to it, like very sad, or it's supposed to be like after, I don't know, like some type of
After one of the wars.
yeah, right? Is that
Yeah.
what it was?
It
Yeah.
takes place after World War II.
Okay. I had a feeling,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
just from the trailers alone, it looks decent. It looked good.
Well, like how you said, it did look very sad. So it is a
Yeah.
very human-based Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and get into the spoilers, bro, because the trailer didn't really say too much. It did give a good look of Godzilla. I liked the look, and I liked the tone of it being like this big, unrelenting force of nature.
I liked how it kind of was true to the original look of Godzilla. Because the way Godzilla looked like in the original Japanese movies kind of have that same kind of look to it compared to the American Godzilla that we know.
It was more like a crocodile.
Yeah. Like a lizard.
So you guys preferred this version of Godzilla versus the American version, then?
So this one looked a little bit more like the American version, in my opinion. I hadn't seen Shin Godzilla, and I do want to check it out. But Shin Godzilla looks more like the original, where he's just standing straight up and his arms are out, and he's just moving like a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
Where this one was a little bit more he had more movement to him. So it still looked more true to the original, though.
Yeah.
As his face, and he had all these not mold, but these. It wasn't even scales, but
Yeah, it was kind of I don't know, kind of rocky
Yeah.
features, I want to say.
Okay.
yeah, mutated.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like CGI kind of thing.
It was CGI.
It was CGI.
Yeah.
CGI.
Okay,
There were
okay,
some
okay.
scenes, and we'll talk about it, in the boat, where it looked like it could be especially with the eyes. The eyes
yeah, they
weren't
look
very
kind of
fluid. They looked like just balls or whatever. He had no eyelids. When he was looking, no, when he was looking at
Couldn't
you,
see the well, yeah. I mean,
it looked like it was
how-
locked.
What is he like towers tall compared to a human? So you got to
Yeah.
squint to really see these little
Yeah.
itty beauty.
Yeah, but he was like this.
yes,
He's looking at people. It was weird.
He took his glasses off, his readers, his cheaters, and he put them away. He's like, "Are these humans?" Hold on, let me see real quick.
Let's see real quick. Ah, shit.
So let's go ahead and get into the rating system, just because I think
Yeah, go for it. So usually we do a countdown.
yeah.
Right.
So I
Sometimes
count up
Lewis
3.
fucks it up.
1, 2, 3.
Grade
go.
8.
Grade.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I fucked it up. Grade 8 though.
Nah, you fucked it up at the beginning, man. So we usually go 1, 2, 3, go, and then you say your answer.
Right.
Okay, so is that what we're gonna do?
After go.
After go?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just a reminder. So human is lowest of the low.
Right.
Grade ape is middle of the mid. And then Saiyan is top to the top.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Got it?
I got it.
All
I
right,
got
so
it.
I'll do the countdown, and then
Yes.
you guys just blow out your answers.
After go.
After go.
All
Okay.
right, you got it?
Ready. I'm ready.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Saiyan.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was good,
bro. It was-
I was surprised. No, I'm surprised.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be that good.
I was also very surprised, to be honest. Yeah.
Would you say that this one is better than the last Godzilla movie, which was the one
Versus King Kong.
versus King Kong, and they had the other kaijus?
Oh, for me, 100%.
You think
This one was better.
This one was way better.
Really?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So for me, it's different. So as a Godzilla movie, and we were talking a little bit before the episode about the newest one, the one that's about to come out. So I did like how true it was to Godzilla, and it was very Godzilla focused, even though it had the human elements. But I do like a Godzilla movie where he's fighting another monster. So even though this was nice and true and old,
And this one, he wasn't fighting.
No.
any other
No-
monsters. It was
no
just-
other monsters.
So he was just fighting humans.
yeah.
He was just being Godzilla.
Yeah.
Just out there in the sea.
The benefit of that movie versus King Kong is that you had, Kong was such a good movie, and then there was two, really good Godzilla movies before that, and then they put them together. So I don't know. That'd be like asking me if the first Captain America movie was better than like Avengers or Endgame. I think they're both good movies, but they're just so different. Like one's a personal story and one's like this big grand scale.
Yeah.
So as a personal story, even with the human stuff, I actually like it in this Godzilla -1 than in the Godzilla versus King Kong, because I don't like all that conspiracy theory guy stuff and him, the guy from Atlanta and the girl from Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
How they teamed up and they were like, trying to
from Atlanta and Stranger.
how they teamed up and they were trying to like, they discovered Mechagodzilla or whatever the hell.
Oh yeah.
Like I didn't like any of that stuff, to be honest. So the human stuff in this movie, and you might be, convincing me a little bit. So I think this was actually a little bit better than that movie.
Yeah.
Versus King Kong, but.
So tell me why though? Like, was it just the acting of the humans?
Yes. So for me, it was a lot of the human moments. So when Godzilla's not on the screen, usually, besides maybe in that first Godzilla movie of the new ones with Bryan Cranston, before usually all the human stuff, and even to be fair, in the older Toho movies, all the human stuff is not what you're really there for. Like when they're in boardrooms and they're like, oh, look at Godzilla. We have to fucking bomb him and he's destroyed this. And, all this like freaking out on the ground level is not really what I'm there for. And it's not even really what's selling it. But with this, how they focused on like just a few people and they were all like really colorful and charismatic. I liked a lot of that. So even when Godzilla wasn't there, it made you care. And it made kind of like Godzilla the villain, because you're like, damn, why is he fucking with these people? Like,
But wasn't he always like presented as a villain in every Godzilla movie?
Sometimes like here and there he was, sometimes he wasn't.
Right.
Like in the newer American movies, like I think past the first one, he's kind of viewed as like we
He's a
need
god,
him.
yeah, like
come kill these other monsters,
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
That's because they start introducing other monsters. But would you say the plot is usually what every other Godzilla, or like old Godzilla movie is? Like, the humans living their regular life in Japan, and next to oh shit, this huge lizard comes out of the waters and starts terrorizing everybody and destroying buildings, and they have to figure out a way to stop him. Is that like the whole plot, or is there more to it?
I
in
think
the old ones?
Because the old ones are usually just like that. Like that's the plot. Like it's until they started introducing different kaijus, and then it's like a battle
They started
between
introducing
them.
different kaijus like almost right away, bro. Like there's like maybe
Because there's so much
Godzilla
you
movies?
can do with just
Yeah.
Godzilla coming out of the waters every once in a while to terrorize Japan, and then you know what I mean.
yeah. No man, it was
So
nice.
that's was that the plot though, or was there more to it?
Essentially, that was the plot. I think it was mainly just like, oh, here's this big lizard. And
So it was like
what
a
are we gonna do?
remake.
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to be like a retelling of
Okay,
one of
okay.
the original movies. I think.
Yeah. Well, because you had asked about like the title. So how they have like
Because I'm thinking like -0. So in that sense, I'm thinking of like taking it back to the roots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that
makes sense.
That's half of what the thing is about. It's also like -1 is the state that Japan is in.
Sorry, it was a -1. I said -0, right?
you did some minus there.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean,
Yeah.
right? Like
So it's like a zero issue of like a
Yeah.
manga or a comic. Like this is like, there's the issue 1 where the story takes off, but then there's issue 0, which is like just giving the world and setting
Yeah.
the ground level.
Right.
So it had like a bunch of meanings or whatever. So it was taken. So the country got bombed with the atomic bomb, and then you add Godzilla.
Yeah.
So there were two separate things, even though they happened at the same time.
at any point in that movie, did they show the origins of Godzilla?
Kinda.
Kind of. Yeah, did.
They
Yeah.
don't show him mutating and like coming like a lizard like looks at the damn bomb and then he turns to Godzilla. They don't do that.
Oh my god.
But he does like kind of start off.
Yeah.
And we're in spoilers. So
Oh yeah.
go ahead.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. So he starts off like maybe like 2 stories. Like he starts off not that big, like the first time you see him.
Yeah.
And the story kind of follows I think the main guy, his name is Koichi.
Yeah. Koichi.
Koichi.
Yes.
He's a kamikaze pilot that he goes to this island to like get his plane repaired because he says it's like there's something going on with it. And then when he's there, that's when they drop the bomb or whatever. And then not too long after that, there's the Godzilla that comes up.
Yeah.
He comes into the island, he starts like wrecking shit. And he has a chance to shoot it, but he either spares it or he thinks that it's not going to do anything. Like he thinks that, if I shoot this big monster or whatever, he's just gonna kill me. So Godzilla ends up killing a lot of the people there.
Yeah.
So then he regrets it. And then Godzilla kind of not haunts him directly, but like the idea.
I'm coming after you.
He's like one of only 2 people to survive the first Godzilla encounter. And Godzilla, he does start off, like I said, like a 2 or 3 story building.
Yeah, it's kind of look like a teenager almost, like a teenage
Yeah,
Godzilla.
really. Yeah, he had like a little bit of
And
stubble.
he like
some
just
acne.
gradually starts getting bigger
Yeah.
throughout the movie.
Yeah.
There's like radiation or something. He just starts attacking
I guess-
nuclear plants and just eating up the radiation.
No, I think it's kind of. I think it's kind of like insinuated.
It might like
No, he doesn't eat any nuclear plants or anything like
He
that.
takes it, he drinks it.
That's right.
Like a soda.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like insinuated that he came from like the dropping of the atomic bombs.
Okay.
And then he probably mutated from that. And then like he grew up to be like the Godzilla that we see in the movie,
That we know and love.
that we know and love, like in the movie. So yeah, I think that's kind of like where he, like kind of like the origin of what it's from. Cause it's literally that happens like right after the war ends.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
And then no, go ahead, man.
Well, so I went to go see this in 4DX. And I wanted you to see it 4DX, bro.
I know.
It's all right.
I know, but I'm.
we're now all balling like you.
I know, man.
I can't afford the tickets.
We can't go all out there. And,
No, man.
you know,
So for the podcast, I have the Regal Unlimited app. And this is not sponsored or nothing, but I definitely
Unless you want to sponsor us, then hit us up.
hit us up.
I recommend that you guys get the Regal Unlimited app because
I feel like
I've been
that's
seeing mad movies and your price or your ticket is discounted. You can bring a friend and that's discounted and you get the 10% or whatever. I think it's like 15 if you have the unlimited, but it's just so worth it. Like it really is.
I feel like it's worth it if you're that type of person that is constantly going to movies, like watches at least 3 movies in a month.
Yeah.
2 movies a month
Pays
and it pays for
it off,
itself.
so.
That's
Yeah.
true.
2 movies. So
Hey, I might get me something like that.
yes, or even like how you said, like if you wanted to take your kids, like if you go to the movies once a month, but you're paying for 2 tickets, then it pays for itself.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. Look at stop advertising.
Sorry, I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're here to talk about
we
the
don't
movie.
get
I know.
paid. We don't
So-
get paid for this.
So if you are going to see it in 4DX, or if you haven't seen 4DX, if you have a 4DX wherever you are, I definitely recommend this. It like if you get seasick easily, I would say maybe don't watch it in 4DX because there's a lot of scenes on the boat.
Oh, there's tons of scenes on the boat.
And that is like, where it
And
like,
the
kinda
plane,
waves
too.
you. That plane too, yeah. It's just the whole thing. And I knew like Godzilla. So I went for the Godzilla for the 4DX, but just every time he stomped on the ground, like it would shake and
Damn, really?
it was nice. It was so
Okay,
nice.
I missed out big time because I watched it in standard.
But so it still holds up though.
Definitely.
In standard.
I still give it the saiyan rating, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was just about to ask you, like, take the 40X away. Would you still have rated it the same?
I was thinking if I would or if I wouldn't. I would rate it the same because it was just really, really good. I think, and it's not even just the Godzilla parts, but I think back to the human parts. But even with the Godzilla, because they have like a strategy to kill Godzilla, and a bunch of times it actually looks like it might work. Like usually in these Godzilla movies, they try to kill Godzilla. They drop bombs, they shoot him. So I love and hate when they shoot him with like a regular gun. They have an AK-47, like die Godzilla.
Dude, they gotta try.
I know you have to try it. If you have the gun, you have to use it.
Exactly.
But it's almost always futile, and it feels
Yeah.
futile. But in this movie, at least towards the end, it looks like they actually might kill Godzilla.
Yeah.
So there is no other kaiju for him to fight. So that is like not a downfall, but that's like a sidestep if you're looking for that. This is a very personal, intimate story about Godzilla.
Okay.
Agreed.
Now, in the ending, did it feel like there could have been a part 2 or like a sequel to this one? -1 to -2, maybe?
So
-2.
no, it'll go forward. So
So plus
it'll be
1?
0.
Zero.
Zero.
Yeah, 0.
I don't know if they. So I have information about a sequel, but before that, I want to ask you, Oscar, or do you have any more questions about Godzilla?
No. I'm just go ahead, man. Ask your questions.
Yeah,
Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
So what did you think of like not the look of Godzilla, but his motive, like him as a character?
As Godzilla as a character?
Yeah, like do you cheer for Godzilla? Do you hate Godzilla?
I would say in this movie, I'm kind of cheered against Godzilla. I kind of cheer more for the humans because, like you said, it's more of a human story
Yeah.
as opposed to a Godzilla story. Godzilla is just kind of there being Godzilla. And he's I mean, obviously he's still a big monster, but in the end, he's an animal. Really, he's kind of like a mutated animal. So I think because he's there, kind of like doing his thing. He's destroying the cities because, well, he thinks that it's like his land and his territory. He probably just because he's a big guy.
Yeah, that's what they say in the movie, that he's like being territorial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what I took that into account in terms of like his character. Like, I think he's not necessarily like the main character. Like the movie's named Godzilla,
right?
But he's definitely not the main character of the movie. He's not like the one that they focus on the most. I just think that he's kind of there to facilitate everybody else's stories, like to connect everybody else in the movie with each other, which I thought worked perfectly. It was amazing.
Oh, I know, I loved it. So after a while, they stopped, like the military stopped attacking Godzilla, and then the final resistance is like a civilian-led battalion of like the civilians of the town that he's about to fuck up. So it does like kind of like bring everybody together, and they don't throw shade, but they talk about how, oh, we need to stop using kamikaze pilots. Like, why do we build airplanes that don't have an ejecto seat? Like
they start valuing life instead of throwing it away.
Right. So
that's funny because that goes to World War II because they were using that too.
Mm-hmm.
No, they were losing the war, so they were kind of like that was their backup plan to do the kamikaze thing.
So I think me and Oscar are telling you to go watch the movie, and it's only going to be in theaters for another week. But
they did extend the dates.
Oh, I think they did.
Wow. They did.
So they're doing pretty good in the box office.
It's the highest grossing live action Japanese film in America right now, like of all time.
Yeah.
So,
it opened up, and we talked about it in a different episode, with higher box office than Godzilla versus King Kong, like the day one, week one type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But in Japan, though.
No,
here.
Because
I know it came out in Japan first.
So
before it came out here.
Like the day one in Japan was higher than the day one in America of the Godzilla. But that's because when Godzilla versus King Kong came out, there was like COVID, and it also came out day one for free, quote unquote, if you had HBO.
HBO Max.
So just a theatrical, but as far as like giving respect to this Godzilla movie, like it was really, really good, and I think it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Good. But so for talk about sequels. So the director said in an interview about the ending and the potential sequel. So because I don't want to give away too much of the story, but he says, I think it's more cinematic if it doesn't end neatly and properly. It's not just so a sequel can be made. It's also so the characters are kept alive in the hearts of the audience.
So how did it end? Did it just end with Godzilla going back in the water and disappearing into these?
I don't think we should spoil how it ends.
This is the spoiler.
But you gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it. So they leave it ambiguous as far as like if they kill you. It looks like maybe they might kill him, but then whatever. But as far as like the character, or I guess we can spoil the Godzilla part because there's another spoiler that I'm like, damn, like if you hold on to it, it's like it pays off.
Oh yeah,
but they look like they're able to kill Godzilla because there's scenes where and he just looks so good in this movie. The person that I went to go see it with said that he looked like he had a bunch of dog shit on his face though. Like he looks like kind of like, have you ever seen the foot from the episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog?
The foot?
Yeah, the fungus foot.
The fungus foot.
Oh yeah,
it looks like he has like a bunch of shit on his face.
Yeah, kind of. I agree with that.
So but he's indestructible. All that shit like protects him.
Yeah.
So he looks vulnerable from the inside. Like they drop a bomb in his mouth and they blow it up, and then it does blow a big chunk of his face away. Mm-hmm. But then it just grows back like real quick.
Yeah.
So they try to kill him like that. And
so he has Wolverine powers.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially. And then the different ways that they try to kill him, they try this like real cool thing where they'll wrap him.
Oh yeah, they use like essentially like balloons or some kind of air that kind of launches him like deep underground into the ocean to kind of like compress him with the pressure of the ocean.
And then they shoot him back up quick as fuck to kind of freeze him because entering like that change of pressure, and it looks like it's about to work, but it's just Godzilla, man.
It's just Godzilla. He's too big.
He's too big. Do you have any favorite characters besides Godzilla or favorite moments?
Favorite moments?
Yeah, favorite characters.
My favorite characters, I mean, obviously the main character, Koichi, was really dynamic. Very good character. Godzilla, great, obviously, because he's just fucking everything up.
Yeah. Even though you cheered against him.
Even though I cheered against him, I thought he was cool as shit. Like when he was doing like, okay, probably another spoiler, but when he was doing like the back thing where he was like charging up his beam.
Yeah.
That shit was cool as hell. And they were like, oh no, they were like freaking out. That shit was crazy. It was so cool. Who else did I really like? I liked one of his friends that he has on the boat. The really eccentric dude, like the really tall eccentric guy who's like...
He was talking all the shit.
Yeah, he was talking all this shit. Loved him. He was so funny. Apparently, he's also in like the Rurouni Kenshin movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So another set of movies y'all should watch. Really good. He's in them.
I want to do a bunch of movies,
Yeah.
My favorite character was the scientist.
Yeah.
I like the scientist just because, so after the war, they hire Koichi to like clean up the mines in the ocean. And he's talking to his girl, who I also like.
Sumiko?
Yeah, or Noriko.
Noriko?
I think so.
Is that the girl that like lived with him for all the time?
Yeah. So she, she's worried about him or whatever. He's like, oh, don't worry. I'm going to be in the state-of-the-art boat. It's going to be able to detect mines. Like they wouldn't just send me out there in a rinky-dink boat. So then he gets there, and then it is like this rinky-dink wooden boat.
Yep.
And the reason is because the mines go off if they sense metal. So that's why they go on a wooden boat so they can like see it and detach it or whatever. But he's just like super, like how you said, eccentric. He's got the crazy scientist hair and he's real cool. And you don't know that he's like this big high ranking scientist in the beginning. And then he's instrumental in like the assault on Godzilla.
Yep.
So, and I do like the girl, Noriko. So she starts off, she like just picks up this baby.
By the way, cutest baby I've ever seen in my life.
Right?
That baby was so cute. I was looking at that baby and I was like, damn.
So
that's a cute baby.
The way it opens up is that she's running or whatever, and Noriko, I was going to call him Suichi, Koichi. He's walking through the town, and then she just drops him a baby, and she just runs off, like I guess because she was stealing. So he's like holding this baby, and he's like, and he holds her for like a hot minute, and then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna leave this baby here. So he leaves the baby and he walks away. And then, then she comes and picks it up or whatever.
No, he feels bad, so he takes it home.
Oh, right. That's what it is. So
yeah.
He feels bad and he goes back for the baby. And then she gets him like when he hits the corner or whatever. So it's not even her baby. But then she ends up living with him. And it's like this instant family.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's very cute.
It's so nice. So that is what I'm talking about. That's the part of the movie that I think was like a good sell point. But also Godzilla.
Yeah. But also Godzilla.
Yeah, man. So the last bits of stuff that I have is the look of Godzilla was modeled after Godzilla from this ride that they have in Japan. It's called Godzilla the Ride Giant Monsters Ultimate Battle.
Oh.
It's an indoor attraction. It's kind of like what we have here with Universal Studios. So almost like a 4DX, like where you're in the seat and then, Ghidorah's like trying to bite you and you're like running away type shit. So the look is modeled after that. So like I said, this is the video version, so we'll post stuff. But Shin Godzilla, he's like more upright and more old fashioned. The new Godzillas he's kind of like hunched down and more crocodilian. So this is like a blend between the two, or like a middle between Shin and the American Godzilla. So that is pretty much all I got. Anything else to add about the movie? Or any questions that you might have, Lewis?
No, man. I think you guys answered it all. So definitely it's a watch. It looks
Definitely
like it's more of a human kind of like, being terrorized by this huge lizard that comes out of the water and can generate like Wolverine, and they try anything and everything to stop him, and you don't want to ruin the ending. So definitely go watch it. Is that what you say?
There is a pretty nice spoiler at the end that makes it all worth it.
Yeah,
I will say that.
It is.
Yeah.
There you go. You hear it.
We're telling you to watch it. And if you've seen the movie, then you know the spoiler we're talking about. So.
Yeah.
You heard it here, guys. Only at the Norm Hyperbolic Review. So definitely watch it. I'm going to go watch it. Maybe. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on it yet.
Your kids saw it.
But they already saw it. Because we got other movies that we got to watch. And I think I'm going to hop on that first before I watch. Unless you let me borrow your card. Do they have your face on it?
I can. So, I mean.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Any final thoughts on the movies, man?
Final thoughts?
It's an amazing movie. Great human tale of people coming together, especially after World War II, which I would like to add that like the whole thing's about kind of like the whole thing's about like a nuclear allegory about after the war and the people of Japan coming together.
And having to rebuild and
Yeah, having to rebuild, come together to fight this entity that pretty much kind of redeems them. It's
So are they rebuilding in the midst of Godzilla coming in, or did they just got done rebuilding and then Godzilla just like fucking?
they're kind of in the midst.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would be pissed as hell.
Yeah, 'cause,
just
like-
got done rebuilding just for a weird kaiju to come out of
that's
the
what
water.
happens.
Yeah, because
it up again.
because like when you see them at first, like the town they live in is literally trashed because of the air raids.
Yeah.
So they're like trying to rebuild, and then Godzilla just comes out of nowhere and it's like, you know what, fuck you guys.
Oh, I know.
I want this place, and then he just comes in and shoots a laser beam.
Where's that nuclear soda?
With the nuclear
Yeah.
plant, so I can drink some and get bigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
How
So
about you, man?
I need the juice. Nah, just really, really good. I haven't seen Shin Godzilla. That is on the list for me to watch now. I do, talking it out with you guys, I do think it's better than a lot of those, like even the newer Godzilla movies. But really good movie. Really good monster mash. Really good flick. I do want them to do a sequel like this guy was talking about. And then maybe if they could have the same Godzilla fight maybe a kaiju. That'd be pretty dope.
What kaiju would you have in mind?
I think they should just go how they did it before and start with like the earlier ones, not Mechagodzilla or King Kong or even King Ghidorah. I think they should do like Rodan or
Mothra.
Anguirus or Mothra. I think they should do one of those early ones.
Okay.
One of those, obscure ones.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Well, as you heard it here, guys, straight from the Norm's mouth, it is a Saiyan movie, so definitely worth the watch. So if you guys ever had the chance to go out to your local movie theaters, definitely go watch that movie.
Watch it 4DX. Even if you get seasick, take a
There you go.
Dramamine.
Or watch it in standard if you don't have the money like I do.
Watch it in standard if you don't have the
But
money.
just watch it, and I guess you are gonna have a good surprise at the end of the movie from what they're both saying.
I'll tell you after.
All right,
Yeah, we'll say that.
But yeah, man. So thank you guys for watching again. This is our review on Godzilla minus
One.
I keep thinking zero. -1. And yeah, come back soon for another review coming your way to your nearest YouTube channel. This has been Lewis. This is X. And of course, our special guest, Oscar, Big O.
Oscaroolong.
Big O,
You want
baby.
to plug? You want to plug?
Oh, yeah, man. Throw in there your IG.
My
Facebook.
IG, it's Oscar Oolong. Same thing for Twitter. If you want to follow me on there, go ahead. I literally just post nothing but like anime girls and music and shit. So
Very nice.
there you go.
There you go. Well, we'll have it like post here and somewhere in the middle with his IG tag. So definitely follow Big O. But yeah, besides that, like we say at the end of every review,
Tune in next time for scenes from the next episode of the Hyperbolic Spinoff Review.
and we're out. Deuces.